The Act Now movement is leading a march against gender-based violence and femicide. The movement is of concerned South African men who have organized themselves nationally to fight the scourge of violence against women. Minister of Police Bheki Cele is also part of that walk in Soweto to close the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa is there for us. A very good afternoon to you, Mbali. Talk to us about what's happening at the moment. Do you understand that at the time being the minister is addressing a crowd there, but talk to us about what's been happening throughout the day at this march.
Good afternoon, Flo. Yes, the march has come to an end. We've reached the finish line, and what we're seeing behind me is a program where different groups and stakeholder groups are speaking against gender-based violence. We've heard from a number of groups just talking about the scourge and the impact that it even has on children. Just a short while ago, there was one child who spoke very powerful words saying that he gets bullied at school because of some of the abuse that some of the children at a school are subjected to at home, and calling on the adults to act accordingly and to protect women and children and not to engage in acts of gender-based violence. That is the consensus here on the ground, and those are some of the messages that are coming from the people who are here. We started very early on today at around 10 o'clock, and we were at the Walter Sisulu Square in Kliptown, where we walked all the way there for more than 10 kilometers. This was initially meant to be a 10-kilometer walk, but it seems it was a little bit more than that to make our way to the finish line, where a program has started. And as you can see, the minister is also speaking. We spoke to the minister a little earlier on, and he made some commitments with regards to empowering the police to deal with gender-based violence and calling on the police not to turn people away, speaking about the importance of actually addressing matters of and giving matters of gender-based violence the urgency they deserve, talking about the fact that this could essentially be a matter of life and death, and turning a victim of violence could be a matter of life and death, because after turning them away, they might actually that might actually be their last day. But I'm actually not alone. I'm actually joined by one of the organizers, Act Now organizers, and the chairperson of Act Now, Tebogo Lerole. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Talk to us about today. It's been quite a long day, and as the organizer, I'd like to ask, are you happy with the turnout? And do you feel that, you know, your message got across in the streets of Soweto?
How are you? Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to say I am pretty much happy, because what is important is, according to the National Strategic Plan, we've got 6 pillars, and pillar 2 is what we really specialize in, which is the awareness, the advocacy, and the education of the community about GBV. It is very imperative for us to spread as much message as possible, educate the masses, but more than anything, with such programs, we want the community to take part. We want them to participate, because as much as we can sing, as much as we can hail loud, and as much as we can march, if the community is not taking part, then our message is not felt thoroughly. We want them to take part. We want them to be a formidable force in making sure, or ensuring, that our streets are safe and our homes are safe. It pains me to hear from the Minister Bheki Cele, saying over 3,560 abuses actually occur at home, and there are sexual offenses. Most of them are rape, which simply means uncles, fathers, brothers, all the men that are within safe spaces or within homes where they're supposed to be protecting the women. They are not. They are actually the perpetrators and contributors to what GBV is today.
And what do you think needs to happen in terms of, you know, do we need to have a change of mindset, or you know, just a cultural change altogether? What needs to happen in order to create those safe spaces?
I honestly think that South Africans to this day don't know what GBV is, because to this day, during the 16 days of activism, you still come across truckloads of cases that are opened by women, and you think that, you know, it's intentionally done, or men are out there waiting for the 16 days of activism to actually go there and abuse women. So I feel like we need to come together, government, corporate South Africa, all our ministers, including our president. I ask our president that for once he stops making announcements or he stops reading from his iPad and actually get on the ground. Women are weeping, women are going through the most atrocious acts from men, and as men we need to start taking accountability. But as well, I also want to highlight that it's not only women that are challenged with GBV. Men are also facing quite a lot of gender-based violence and abuse coming from the opposite gender. So as a country, as a nation, and as black people, because I can safely say that most of the cases that have been reported are mostly amongst us as black people. It is high time we work together. It is high time within our streets, within our communities, we start having street marshals. We start having people that are going to monitor and move around in the streets, making sure that communities are safe. I mean, back in the day when I was growing up, we had what we call street committees. Street committees are almost similar to CPF or the Community Policing Forum. So policing doesn't only end with SABC or with South African Police Services. Policing is within your home. You police within your home. You protect your children. You protect your mother. You protect the sister that you were brought up with. You protect everyone, your neighbors, and everyone around you.
Okay. Now, just my final question. One of the issues that was raised by the minister is the fact that many women fall victim to rape and all other crimes from places of leisure. Talk to us about what needs to be done in order to ensure, what can these places of leisure do in order to ensure the safety of people, given that we are going into the holiday season?
As Mzansi Act now, it's been a program that we've been running since the beginning of this year, where we go from tavern to tavern, outlet to outlet, places of leisure like you've mentioned. Today we are at Gonka. Our main aim is to convert the venue so that it is a safe zone or safe haven for women. We do not want from today to hear a case where a woman was beaten up or a woman was raped or a woman was human trafficked within the space. So we've spoken to the owners, we've spoken to the staff that make sure that you keep an eye. Our role is to convert all the outlets that we have in the country, because they are most of them are contributors of GBV, and I don't want to put them at the center of it, but because the main issue or the main challenge is the men. But we all know that with a lot of social ills, they lead to GBV in most cases. And again, I want to highlight substance abuse as well. We're not saying people should not enjoy their time or they shouldn't enjoy a drink or two, but we're saying once they go excessively, a lot happens beyond that stage, and hence why we're experiencing quite a lot of abuse directed at women.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us. That was the chairperson of ACT Now, just talking to us about a call to men and all South Africans to protect family members, to protect the sister, to protect the mother, siblings, and everyone, and also just to for places of leisure to create a safe space and a safe environment for women that are going to be visiting their spaces during this holiday season. For now, though, it's back to you in studio. But the minister is continuing, as you can see, he's still speaking behind me. We will continue to monitor that in the meantime, but it's back to you in studio for now.
All right, Mbalenda, thanks very much for that.